Hey everyone, good morning. We had a great night's sleep at Jewell County State Fishing Lake, and now we're packing up and heading out for our second day exploring Kansas. We have 5 days to explore Kansas, and on the first day, we made it about a third of the way across the state. Kansas has already surprised us with its beautiful scenery, and today we'll leave the Smoky Hills region and enter the Badlands. Here was our tentative route for the second day and our actual route that we ended up taking. We realized on the first day that Kansas is a big state and we may have been a little overly ambitious. After making some coffee and packing up, we headed further west to our first stop of the day. In numerous places as we were driving through this area of Kansas, we saw silhouettes just out in the middle of fields. We aren't sure if they're marking historic trails or if they're just placed as decorations, memorials to their pioneering history. Welcome to Lebanon, center of the 48 states. And just outside of Lebanon is the geographical center of the U.S. Well, looks like about a mile out of town here. We're about 20 miles from the Nebraska border. That's it, straight ahead. Somebody else with an RV there. We were surprised by how much stuff was here. We were expecting just a small roadside marker. We wanted to give the other people that were here a little bit of time to look around on their own without us filming, so we busied ourselves making a little bit of breakfast while we waited. Would you like me to get it for you?
You better not be recording any of this.
I am. The real life struggles of trying to make bread and peanut butter.
All by yourself while nobody's helping you.
While somebody's just
recording.
watching you with a camera. This wasn't always considered the geographical center of the U.S., and it actually isn't the center of the U.S. anymore. Prior to 1918, Smith Center, Kansas was considered the geographical center, but in 1918, a geodetic survey was done and showed that this was the geographic center. It wasn't until the 1940s, though, where another survey was done and an actual marker was placed. The actual location is about 600 yards north in somebody's field, and they didn't want a marker placed in their field, so it was placed here at the closest intersection. The Pyramid Monument was the first thing to be placed here in the summer of 1941. So it was expanded to this park in 1955 when a businessman from North Carolina named Moses Lee Johnson built the motel, which is the stone building you see behind the park here. He named it the U.S. Geographical Center Motel, and then later that was shortened to Center Park Motel Rest. It was a bust, so by 1959 it was closed to tourists. It would open off and on throughout the decades for like local events, and then it was sold to a pheasant hunting group in 1985. So like I said, this is technically no longer the geographical center of the U.S. because of Alaska and Hawaii. So the center was recalculated in 1957 or 58, and it was determined to be near Belfort, South Dakota. So the monument here was then required to add the words of the continental U.S. when referring to it as the geographical center. So they could no longer call themselves the geographical center of the U.S. So like I said, though, we were surprised how many people were here already today to see it. We were on our way to our next stop when we saw this on Google Maps, and so you know we had to stop.
Wanting to get gas?
I'll top off if you want to walk up there and take video.
Okay.
This is the world's largest ball of twine. And since there was a group there, we decided to hop across the street and grab a cup of coffee while we waited. The world's largest ball of twine began by Frank Stober in 1953 after tripping over some twine in his barn. Instead of burning it, he decided to start rolling it into a ball. It eventually grew so big that somebody wrote an article about it, and then it became a tourist attraction. Eventually, so many people were coming to see it that he donated it to the city. Twine was still being added, so the ball continued to grow. In 1973, Guinness certified it as the world's largest ball of twine, and then in 1974, Frank Stober passed away at the age of 83. In 1978, Francis Johnson of Minnesota contested that it was the world's largest ball of twine and won. So in 1982, the first Twine-a-thon was held. We could have brought our own twine to add to the ball. Visitors are allowed to add twine, but it has to be actual sisal twine, not nylon or cotton or anything. Sisal, however you say it. In 1988, it surpassed the size of the ball from Minnesota. Oh, we can put twine on here. She brought twine.
When you drove past, had you seen that we were adding twine?
No, I didn't see that that's what you were doing. We didn't want to interrupt.
We had a bunch of people, and they were going to finish the spool, and I said, no, those people might come back. Well, first thing you get to do is tie knot.
this. Okay.
Just a tight knot. And rather than tripping and falling in his barn, he rolled it into a ball. Now all you have to do is hold on to this tube,
Okay.
and walk. And just walk around. Yeah. That's literally all you have to do is walk. And you can give it to him, and he can walk. Oh, so where did he go? Oh, he's following me. Yeah. Okay, here, you can come walk around with it. And she'll take the camera.
Can you do it with the coffee in one hand?
And there we are. And this is how the ball grows. I weigh those spools. And that's why I know it weighs now 27,000, over 500 pounds.
We didn't think to ask her name, but I believe after doing a little research, this is Linda who was giving us the history of the ball of twine. If I've got that wrong, I'm so sorry. She had so much information about the town and the surrounding area, including this gas station here and another historic one on the other side of town, which are rooms that can be rented. We thought that was so cool. What a great idea.
Go out that way. I will check though here in a minute. Oh, let me get on here.
Okay, we're gonna go over a dam and lake. Yeah, I mean, it looks like that probably
I see roadbed over here on
that there
the
used to
left.
be. I'm thinking this over here, maybe, let me look at the map again. There's camping. yeah, that there's camping. You can camp down on this peninsula. Just a little tiny camping area there. Vault toilets. After leaving Wakanda Lake, we continued our drive west over to the little town of Osborne.
Sure I can't turn left? Come on, let me turn left.
We don't have wings. You need wings to turn left.
I might have a Red Bull in the back.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. We're going this way.
Yes, dear.
Yep, see the park there? This is the Mes Ranch Triangulation Station. Try saying that 10 times fast. This is the geodetic center of the U.S. Just like the geographic center of the U.S., the geodetic center isn't actually right here on this spot. It's actually about 18 miles south of here, again on private land. The geodetic center is the point from which all measurements for lines and boundaries are taken within the U.S. Go ahead and stop here, pull over here for a second, if you don't mind. We decided to stop in the artsy little town of Lucas to use one of the fanciest restrooms you've ever seen. Very interesting. So I heard the men's room has different ones. The Bowl Plaza isn't the only artwork in the town of Lucas. One of the things it's probably most known for is S.P. Dinsmore's Garden of Eden. Dinsmore was a Civil War veteran who started building his home at the age of 64 in 1904. He decorated the outside with all of these sculptures that have biblical and political meaning, and Dinsmore himself is on display in this mausoleum on the corner of the property. You can view the exterior artwork from the sidewalk anytime for free, but there is a fee to tour the inside of the home and visit the mausoleum. Right next door is Miller's Park, which is home to all of these sculptures and has a pretty interesting history of its own. We'll link info about that in the description. On our way out of town, we stopped at the Wilson Lake Scenic Overlook to make some lunch, and then continued our drive west out of the Smoky Hills and into the plains. This is an area known as the Badlands and shares some similarities with the South Dakota Badlands. We made a couple stops in Cedar Bluff State Park before heading to what we thought would be our final stop of the day. Cedar Bluff State Park surrounds this reservoir, and there are numerous campgrounds and wildlife areas here. There are numerous overlooks also on the cliffs above the reservoir. We picked out a couple to stop and check out. Yep, good job. It was quite a hill, but good job there, babe.
Oh no! Oh
Tumbleweeds! We're attacked by tumbleweeds.
no! Goody beast. Oh, there's another one. I started hacking back in it.
Oh, here comes some more tumbleweeds. Yep, so you'll turn right.
There's a big
Oh,
one.
geez, yeah.
That's Grandpa.
Some sort of a wildlife area there. No outlet.
Can you do it in 2 wheel drive hacking back?
Heckenbeck's taking home a souvenir.
See, I told you tumbleweeds attack. That one got Heckenbeck got that one as
Yep.
jowls before.
It's jowls, huh? Because that's what they're called, right?
Yep. See?
I'm having flashbacks to the Ohio River.
At least you didn't geek this phone over there.
About an hour west of Cedar Bluff Reservoir was our last planned stop of the day. say, somebody said not to get carried away like climbing over the rocks and stuff because they saw a whole bunch of black widows nestled in the little cracks and crevices. So this says the road out goes this way, not up there. I'm assuming past here. Oh, maybe not. No, maybe it is still this way. Tim's like, yeah, what are you trying to get us into? So you see there's roads, trails. I won't call them roads, trails. This landscape is not something that we ever thought or expected to see in Kansas. In the next video, we'll share a little bit more about why these rock formations exist. Can you back straight up? There is a hole there. Look, babe, they're not afraid of the black widows.
They probably don't know about the black widows.
Is it just a sign? Probably just a sign on the fence over there, behind the fence.
Yeah. It's a skull that was eaten clean by the black widows.
We had about an hour drive from here to where we planned to camp tonight at Lake Scott State Park. But of course, on the way, we got distracted. We saw a sign for something that we decided to go check out. Griffith Ranch. I said, is it this? Yeah. Battle Canyon, please stay on the main road. No camping, no firearms. Please register and information. Like so many of the other places in Kansas, this is on private property as well, so there are rules that have to be respected. I was expecting this just to be like a historical marker. It is right ahead, okay.
Holy cow.
This memorial marks the last encounter between U.S. troops and Native Americans on Kansas soil. Oh, so there's the cave. We made it to Lake Scott State Park a little before sunset. Lake Scott is a huge park with multiple campgrounds, lots of activities, some historic sites to visit, but we just wanted to find a campsite and make dinner. So we stopped at the first campground in the park. You can pay online through an app, or they have a kiosk at the front office. This time of year, there was plenty of camping available.
Okay. So we are at Lake Scott State Park. What was
Elm
camping?
Campground?
Elm
I think.
something campground? Elm Creek?
Elm Grove.
Elm Grove? Elm Grove, I think that is what it is. Elm Grove Campground. Which is really a beautiful campground. We're the only ones in here. Pay for a campsite, which was what, $12.75?
Yeah, I think it was.
$12.75 for a primitive. We've got dinner. We're just having cheeseburgers and sauteed vegetables for dinner.
Nothing fancy because I told her let's keep it simple so we can move faster.
Yep.
I mean, not have as much to clean up because
Yeah.
Lord knows we're not going to move fast.
So I don't think we're even going to unhook again tonight. We're going to relax this evening, try to get things in order, and then leave early tomorrow. Leave like first thing tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, we would be on the road before the sun came up, headed to one of the places I've been really looking forward to seeing. And then we would be making our way over to the Colorado state line and down to the southwest corner of Kansas. We hope you enjoyed exploring with us today. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you in the next video.